The majority of people will never beat their addictions, especially porn. They'll try to stop, convince themselves they've changed, and then relapse the moment life gets inconvenient. One study found that over 80% of people who try to quit a compulsive habit cold turkey relapse within 30 days. And most of them keep doing the same thing over and over, hoping for different results. No strategy, no replacement, just raw effort and a YouTube playlist full of guys yelling at them to be disciplined. That's the advice you've probably followed. Delete everything, go monk mode, pretend your urges are gone just because you blocked a few websites. Then act surprised when you're back to day one again. You will become part of that statistic if you don't change how you approach this. Because right now, you're not healing, you're coping with a tighter leash. And whether you admit it or not, you already feel it. That tension, that frustration, that voice in your head saying this isn't working. But here's the good news. It doesn't have to stay this way. There's a reason your approach keeps failing, and once you understand it, everything changes. So if you're tired of pretending you're making progress, watch this video until the end.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. Going cold turkey on your pornography addiction is useless because it doesn't change anything. And the reason why it doesn't help is because you're removing the habit, but the triggers still remain there. So in other words, when you have no plan, then you're guaranteed to relapse. Like the best way I can explain this for you, and a lot of you guys could probably relate to this too because we've probably done this a ton of times, but it's like deleting Uber Eats and then thinking that because the app is deleted, then you have no incentive to go order from there again. And then you think it's some type of like monumental moment where you feel as though you're not gonna ever use the app again. But then all of a sudden, here you are again 1 to 2 weeks after, suddenly ordering foods to fit your gluttony needs. And the reason why I use the Uber Eats analogy is because you didn't learn how to feed your brain better shit. You just remove the junk food delivery, aka the porn websites. But the moment you get hungry, mentally speaking, or in this case, bored, or craving a sense of release, then your brain's gonna look for that hit immediately. And the source is these porn websites. So I want you to understand that going forward, going cold turkey with anything, not even just corn, but any type of addiction that you want to get rid of, one, you gotta understand that going cold turkey is not progress. It's regression in disguise. You didn't fix the habit to begin with. You just delayed it, and that's why you keep relapsing. And here's a few tactics I want to let you guys know before I move on to my next talking points, because this right here is actionable. You guys can do it right now. So number one, set digital blockers. Put things in your parameters to make it hard for you to access corn to begin with. You're not as disciplined as you think. So like get like Google extensions like block site or stay focused. And so by you doing this and putting these barriers in place, it's gonna make accessing corn a hell of a lot more inconvenient and annoying. And the next tactic I want you guys to use is to write a fallback routine when the urge hits. It usually happens around nighttime when you guys are home alone or bored and you have these apps in place. One, you already got the website blockers, so that should already be set in stone. But if you feel as though you have the urge, I kid you not, bro, literally just do 25 push-ups. I know it sounds like an unsexy answer that you didn't want to hear, but literally just do that, or go outside, take a walk for about 5 minutes, put your phone on airplane mode so you're less likely to use it. Throw it across the room, put it in your closet, do whatever it is you got to do to make sure accessing it is damn near impossible. Because the thing is, when the urge hits, and yes, it is likely gonna hit, your brain's gonna default to what's the easiest thing to do at that given point in time. So if you don't give it that access, you don't give it that craving, because right now your brain is pretty weak, I'll be honest, then it's less likely to do the inevitable, which is beating off. So it's better for you to prepare before the urge hits. And with me telling you these tactics, that also leads me to my next point, because a lot of y'all don't realize that your brain is not loyal to you. Because if it was loyal to you, you wouldn't have been addicted to this thing as severely as you are right now. And the truth is, your brain wants what's easy for you, not what's good. And it's based on evolutionary psychology, where like brain had to adapt to unfamiliar environments, and it pushed you to what's more familiar and safe. And so because you built up this habit, that's why it regresses to pornography. But that's besides the point. The point you gotta realize is that it chases fast dopamine. And it doesn't matter if it's corn, it doesn't matter if it's TikTok, it doesn't matter if it's food, it doesn't matter if it's doom scrolling. It's all those things in combination, which you have one of them. If you're watching this, it is corn. And let me give you guys a real life analogy or a real life explanation as to why this is the case. It's like that one friend who agrees to come with you to the gym, and then you hype each other up, you're excited to go, but then the moment it's time for you guys to go, they want to make all the excuses in the world as to why they cannot, and they just default back to their old habits.
Is this nigga serious?
So knowing that fact alone, the way to combat this is to replace the habit with something easy and rewarding. Examples being the gym, cold showers, journaling, content creation like how I am, like little things like that. Because remember, temporary discomfort leads to a good life. A long-durated, comfortable life leads to a hard life. So in other words, train your brain or your brain will train you to be average. And you don't want to be like the average person because they have little to no control within their lives. Which also leads me to our next talking point is that you yourself are not addicted to corn necessarily. You're just addicted to control. So you do kind of have a head start compared to the average Joe, but you just have to realize that you just want to control, not necessarily because you were healed. Like you going cold turkey, you doing all this and that to abstain from it has not helped you because you regressed back. And I get it. We all want to feel control over our own lives, over our own minds, over what we choose to do. But you've built this habit up so much to the point to where you basically lost the plot and have not acknowledged that you do not have control over the root cause. It's like, take for example, someone who just gets into relationship from relationship to relationship and not understanding how they keep attracting the same person over and over again and reassessing how they keep attracting the same archetype of person every time and landing in shitty relationships. You have a shitty relationship with yourself. So you thinking that by you breaking it off the same way someone breaks off something with their ex and then gets into another relationship, you're not fixing anything. You're not acknowledging what's really going on deep inside. You just hated feeling vulnerable, or in this case, weak. So you quit that temporary moment to feel powerful, then cracked the moment things got hard. All right, I'm sorry. Let me give you guys a quick tactic just to make up for that corny ass thing I just said right there. And this tactic is more so like a mindset shift that you actually need to do. And you can literally do it like within a snap of a finger. Shift from telling yourself I need to stop to I'm building something better. I'm building a better life for myself. I'm building better habits. I'm becoming the man that I know I inevitably can be if I just stay focused. And this looks like building basic fitness skills, problem solving skills, genuine skill sets in your careers or any endeavors, professionally, or just any hobbies really, and then link that to your streak instead of your no-fap streak of abstaining from porn. Bro, when I tell you, as someone who has abstained from this very early on, you get addicted to making real life progress, because making progress in real life becomes a replacement for the gaping hole that you have in you, which is why you succumb to watching. And the thing is, you gotta understand, you gotta separate your feelings from reality. Control feels good in the moment until you relapse, right? But then you gotta look at it on the flip side. Growth is actually the real thing that you want. You want to feel growth, not control. There's a difference between the two. No system equals no chance of stopping the habit to begin with. Willpower doesn't last. Systems do. You guys have heard this countless of times that willpower is useless and all this other stuff. Shit, I've said it a bunch of times, because the thing is, motivation is not structure. Motivation is not enough. Systems is. You don't know what you're doing. You're just playing the guessing game, and guessing doesn't get you anywhere, at least in this context. So what you need to do is lock in a daily routine, wake up on time, focus on your daily objectives, and use a habit tracker, a calendar, a whiteboard like the one I have behind me where the mirror is, just to hold yourself accountable. Because if you don't have that accountability there, then you're going to fall short. It's as simple as it sounds. It's not easy, but it is simple. And this quote heavily resonates with me, and I highly recommend you guys read the book Atomic Habits. If you're a self-improvement junkie, you probably already read it, but the quote goes like this: you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the levels of your systems. So in other words, you cannot grow what you cannot track. I'm gonna say it again. You cannot grow what you cannot track. So if you're not building a system, then you're building an inevitable relapse. It is what it is. And the next point I'm about to make should piss you off, and that's to get mad at. It's designed to keep you weak. It's designed to keep you distracted. It's designed to keep you addicted. And the fact that some of you guys are not angry about it and want to wallow up in your own self-pity should piss you off. And it pisses me off, because these people are literally exploiting you and benefiting you for their own self-interest. And the fact that you guys can't see that pornography is hijacking your ambition should be alarming to you. The fact that it makes you okay with less progress, less connection, less energy. Like, you relapse and you feel ashamed about it, which I get, but you don't feel mad enough to even want to fight back. Like, you guys actually got to imagine this. It's like someone constantly taking advantage of you, using all your resources until you're dried up and you have nothing left to give back, and then you're just disposable at the end of the day. It's like kind of like that Toy Story meme. You got to get mad at this shit. You got to get pissed off at the stars and yourself to a degree for indulging in this bullshit. And you also gotta like see it as like you're bigger and better than this. It's really just a perspective thing. And if you can't perceive yourself to be better than this shit, then the shit's gonna be taking advantage of you 24/7. So don't let it. You gotta understand that relapsing isn't the problem, repeating is. So this is kind of like a learning versus failing type of thing. It's like, the best way I can describe it is, imagine you keep losing on this video game level and you can't really pinpoint how it is that you keep losing on the same exact level, and then just restarting the game because because you're frustrated. But if you watch back like the kill cam and then you see where you fucked up, then you realize, oh, this is how I gotta move next time so that way I can kill the boss, aka kill the pornography addiction completely. So doing that, here's 3 things that you can do right now that can literally help you out. 1, understand what triggered it. What certain cues, what certain things was in place that got you to even click on the thing in the first place. Because the whole thing about this is awareness is key. Because awareness is going to get you from point A to point B and make you wake up to the fact that you are more capable than you think. Number 2, you gotta understand what emotions you felt. Were you eager? Were you lonely? Were you sad? Were you mad? Were you like, what emotions did you feel? Get clear on that. Number 3, what will you do differently next time? What actions, what behaviors will you set in place to make sure you don't make the same mistakes again? It's simple, bro, because every relapse is a lesson. But if you just ignore it, then it's just going to happen again. So become clear on what those 3 things are. And I promise you, bro, if you did those 3 things on that last point I've told you about, instead of just getting put off by what I've been telling you throughout the entire video or the title of the video or the thumbnail, I guarantee you, bro, when you do all that I mentioned in this video, you will completely rid yourself of this addiction forever. And that's about it for this one. If you did like what I had to say, hey man, like, comment, subscribe, share this with a friend who needs to see or hear this. Dream big and take action. I'm gonna see you guys. Peace.